Previously, Hana's dreams turned into nightmares. Jaehyun swore to break the prophecy. Minji made her bargain with the shadows, her chains tightening with every choice, and the shadow demon warned them. 3 nights remain until the eclipse. Now, whispers echo through the academy, and no one knows who to trust. Hana stood before the mirror in the rehearsal hall. Her reflection stared back, but this time it moved before she did. Its lips whispered, "You are the key. Break or be broken." She stumbled back as the mark glowed like fire under her skin. "What do you mean by break?" a voice echoed in her head. Then the figure in the mirror reached out, its fingers tracing the lines of her face. "You have the power, Hana. Embrace it or resist. The choice is yours." With that, the figure vanished. So what is the prophecy? If you don't remember, let me catch you up. The Demon King is planning to use an ancient artifact to bring about an eternal night. Only the descendant of the Sun King can stop him, someone who is pure of heart and strong of will. But there's a twist. The longer the eclipse lasts, the more power the Demon King gains. So they have to act fast. Will Hana embrace her power, or will the darkness consume her? Find out tonight at 8 p.m. See you then. Jaehyun cornered Professor Ahn in the darkened library. "You knew this would happen. You have been guiding us to this moment." Professor Ahn's voice was steady. "Every prophecy has a price. Are you willing to pay yours?" Jaehyun's eyes flashed with anger. "What are you talking about? What prophecy? Don't play coy with me, Jaehyun. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You have been playing the hero to get this world, to get us to where we are today. But every hero has a price. Every sacrifice has a cost. What are you willing to pay?" Jaehyun stared at her, his expression unreadable. The silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken words and hidden truths. "I am not the hero of this story," he said finally, his voice a low growl. "And you are not the villain." "Oh no," Professor A said with a sad smile. "We are all just pawns in a much larger game, my dear boy, pawns in the game of fate." Minji sat alone in the practice room. Her chains were coiled tight around her arms. For the first time, her voice trembled. "Is this really what I wanted?" The shadows answered her with silence. And yet, the red glow in her eyes only deepened. She had always been so sure of herself, so sure that her path in life was to become the strongest warrior in the kingdom. But now, as she looked down at her bound hands, she felt a flicker of doubt. Was this really what she wanted? The silence seemed to stretch on forever, but it was only a few seconds. A single tear escaped her eye and rolled down her cheek. It was the first crack in her armor, the first sign of vulnerability. But even as she cried out, a wild laugh escaped her lips. She didn't know if it was a laugh of joy or a laugh of madness, but in that moment, she knew that she couldn't go back. There was no turning back. What she had to do next was up to her. What would Minji do next? That night, Hana dreamt again. The shadow demon towered over her, his violet eyes gleaming. "When the eclipse comes," he rumbled, "one of you will beg me for mercy, and I will listen to none." His claws scraped against invisible chains, the sound echoing in her skull. She woke up in a cold sweat, gasping for breath. The dream felt so real, the demon's presence suffocating her, his words echoing in her mind. She could feel the chains binding her arms behind her back, pulling her closer to the darkness. As the sun rose, casting its golden light into her room, Hana struggled to shake off the remnants of the dream. But the demon's words echoed in her mind. "One of you will beg me for mercy." Who was he talking about? What did it mean? Suddenly, a loud crash from downstairs made her jump. Was someone breaking into her house? Or was it just her imagination, playing tricks on her mind? The training hall was silent. Hana and Jaehyun finally faced off against Minji. No one said a word. Minji's chains rattled as she slowly approached them, her eyes blazing with anger. Hana stepped forward and said, "We do not have to fight each other, we can fight him." Minji's eyes softened for just a moment. She looked at the ground, then back at Hana. "Prove it," she said, her voice barely a whisper. The fight that had been building inside of Hana for so long finally came to a head. She felt powerful, stronger than she ever had before. As she unleashed her ultimate attack, the power of the ancient gods surged through her veins, amplifying her strength tenfold. The sight of the attack sent a shiver down Minji's spine. In that instant, she knew she had made a grave mistake. But it was too late. Hana's attack was upon her, and the outcome was inevitable. The professor stopped climbing the academy tower when he saw it. The first shadow of the eclipse had begun. "It has started," he whispered. He turned to see the bells ringing across the campus. The light was dimming unnaturally. Students screamed and ran for cover as the world around them darkened too soon. He watched as the last bit of sunlight faded away, leaving only an eerie blue glow in its wake. The wind picked up, whipping his hair and robes around him. As he reached the top of the tower, below him, the students were huddled together, their faces pale in the moonlight. The professor raised his head to the sky and let out a long sigh. It was beautiful. And then it hit him. This wasn't supposed to happen for another 200 years. Why did it start now? And why did no one else seem to notice? Was he really the only one who saw the end of days? 3 voices, 1 prophecy, and a shadow that grows stronger with every heartbeat. As the eclipse nears, the academy will no longer be a stage for idols, but a battlefield for survival, and the whispers will soon become screams. Our idols have been through so much. They've faced death, betrayal, heartbreak, and war. But through it all, they've always had each other. That was, of course, until the eclipse. The day the world ended, and everything we knew was turned upside down. Now, 3 years later, the scars have healed, but the nightmares remain. And as the eclipse approaches once more, the shadows begin to stir. The whispers in the darkness tell of a coming storm, a reckoning for all of humanity. And our idols are at the center of it all. They say only one will survive the coming darkness, but which one? And what will it take to survive the night?